What if the very first thing you drink in the morning is silently raising your blood sugar instead of controlling it? You wake up, reach for your usual drink, maybe it's just water, a cup of coffee or tea, or even a healthy looking plant based milk, and you think you're doing the right thing. But your morning blood sugar still comes back high. That's confusing and honestly frustrating. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Your body is already releasing glucose from the liver when you wake up. Your insulin sensitivity is lower, your hormones are shifting, so what you drink first doesn't just hydrate you, it actually sets the direction for your blood sugar for the next 8 to 12 hours. The good news, you don't need expensive supplements or complicated routines. You just need to use these everyday drinks the right way. In this video, we'll break down 3 powerful morning drinks that can help lower blood sugar, improve insulin response, reduce spikes, and stabilize your energy naturally. But here's the surprising part. Most people are using them completely wrong. Stay with me because one small change in your morning drink can completely transform your blood sugar control. First on the list, water hydration. If there's one morning habit almost every diabetic underestimates, it's water. It feels too simple to matter. No calories, no nutrients, no superfood label. But inside your body, especially in the first hour after waking, water acts like a metabolic reset system, helping rebalance blood sugar, improve insulin efficiency, and prepare your system to handle glucose properly for the rest of the day. Let's start with what actually happens overnight. While you sleep for 6 to 8 hours, your body continues to burn energy, regulate hormones, and maintain vital functions. But you're not drinking any fluids. This naturally leads to mild dehydration by morning, even if you don't feel thirsty. At the same time, your body is dealing with the early morning glucose release from the liver. For people with diabetes, this release is often higher than normal, which is why fasting blood sugar levels tend to rise. Now, here's where dehydration quietly makes things worse. When your body is low on water, even by just 1 to 2% of total body fluid, your blood becomes slightly more concentrated. That means the glucose circulating in your bloodstream also becomes more concentrated, making your readings appear higher and harder to control. On top of that, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and vasopressin to conserve water, and both of these hormones can push blood sugar even higher. This is exactly where water becomes powerful. Drinking water in the morning helps restore blood volume, dilute excess glucose, and improve circulation, making it easier for your body to manage blood sugar. It also supports your kidneys, allowing them to filter and remove excess glucose more efficiently through urine. Over time, this simple habit can help reduce the intensity of high fasting blood sugar. Let's look at the real value of water, not in terms of calories, but in terms of function. A single glass of about 8 ounces, 240 milliliters, contains 0 calories, 0 sugar, and no carbohydrates, fats, or protein at all. On paper, it looks like nothing, but in reality, it supports more than half of your entire body, since the human body is made up of about 55 to 65% water. Every system that controls blood sugar, circulation, insulin signaling, kidney filtration, and cellular metabolism depends on proper hydration. So, while water doesn't add nutrients, it ensures that everything else you consume actually works effectively. Water also plays a direct role in insulin function. When you're dehydrated, your cells become less responsive to insulin, meaning glucose has a harder time entering the cells and tends to stay in the bloodstream longer. Proper hydration helps create a balanced internal environment where insulin can work more efficiently, allowing glucose to move where it's needed. Here's something supported by research. People who increase their daily water intake to around 1.5 to 2 liters, 50 to 70 ounces, often experience better fasting blood sugar control and improved glucose regulation, especially when they start their day with hydration. This shows that water is not just supportive, it's foundational. Another important benefit is circulation. Your blood carries glucose and insulin throughout your body, and when you're dehydrated, this flow becomes less efficient. Drinking water improves circulation, helping glucose and insulin reach your cells more effectively, which supports better metabolic control. Water also helps activate your metabolism in the morning. Drinking water within the first 15 to 30 minutes of waking signals your digestive system to wake up, preparing your body to process food more efficiently. This reduces the chances of sudden spikes after breakfast. There's also a powerful effect on appetite. Many people mistake dehydration for hunger, especially in the morning. Drinking water first can reduce unnecessary calorie intake by helping control false hunger signals. This indirectly helps stabilize blood sugar by preventing overeating or poor food choices early in the day. Now let's talk about how to use water effectively. The key is not just drinking water, but how and when you drink it. Start your morning with 1 to 2 glasses, 8 to 16 ounces, or 240 to 480 milliliters within the first 15 to 30 minutes of waking. This helps quickly restore hydration and begin stabilizing your blood sugar. Continue sipping water gradually throughout the morning instead of drinking large amounts all at once. This keeps your hydration level steady and supports continuous glucose regulation. For most people, aiming for around 2 to 3 liters, 68 to 100 ounces per day is a good general target, depending on activity level and climate. You can enhance your morning water slightly by adding a few drops of lemon. While it doesn't directly lower blood sugar, it can support digestion and make the habit easier to maintain. Warm or room temperature water is often better tolerated than very cold water, especially first thing in the morning. One gentle thing to keep in mind is balance. Drinking too much water too quickly can cause discomfort and dilute important electrolytes. Consistency matters more than quantity. Steady hydration throughout the day works best. What makes water truly powerful is that it doesn't act like a quick fix. It doesn't force your blood sugar down artificially. Instead, it supports the systems that naturally regulate glucose, including insulin function, kidney filtration, circulation, and hormone balance. Over time, this creates a pattern of better control. You may notice lower fasting blood sugar, fewer spikes after meals, improved energy levels, and reduced cravings. These benefits build gradually, but they are long-lasting. And here's the key idea to remember. Water doesn't directly lower your blood sugar. It gives your body the ability to control it properly. That's what makes it different. It strengthens your system instead of overriding it. In a world where people search for complex solutions, water remains one of the simplest and most effective tools you have. It improves circulation, supports insulin response, reduces glucose concentration, and prepares your body for the day ahead. That's why water is not just a drink, it's a daily metabolic foundation, helping you start your morning with balance, clarity, and better blood sugar control. Second on the list, coffee or tea morning metabolic activators. If you're someone who cannot start your day without coffee or tea, here's the good news. You don't have to give it up to control your blood sugar. In fact, when used the right way, coffee and tea can actually become powerful tools to support insulin function, metabolism, and morning glucose control. But when used the wrong way, especially with sugar, flavored creamers, or poor timing, they can quietly push your blood sugar in the opposite direction. Let's start by understanding what happens inside your body in the morning. When you wake up, your body naturally releases glucose from the liver, and at the same time, your insulin sensitivity is slightly lower. This means your body's already under a bit of metabolic stress. Now, when you introduce caffeine from coffee or tea, it can either support your system or stress it further, depending on how you use it. Let's begin with the nutritional side. A standard cup of black coffee, about 8 ounces or 240 milliliters, contains roughly 2 to 5 calories, 0% daily value, 0 sugar, and no carbohydrates or fats. Similarly, plain tea, whether it's green, black, or herbal, contains almost 0 calories and 0 sugar. On paper, they look neutral, but inside your body, they are far from inactive. The key compound here is caffeine, along with antioxidants like polyphenols. Caffeine stimulates your central nervous system and increases alertness, but it also influences metabolism and glucose handling. In moderate amounts, caffeine can help your body use glucose more efficiently, increase fat oxidation, and slightly improve energy utilization. Now here's where things get interesting. Coffee and tea contain powerful antioxidants, especially polyphenols, that help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, two major contributors to insulin resistance. By reducing inflammation, your cells become more responsive to insulin, allowing glucose to move into cells instead of staying in the bloodstream. There's also an effect on GLUT4 activity, although indirect. Improved insulin sensitivity from these compounds helps activate the process where glucose is transported into muscle cells. This leads to better blood sugar control and more stable energy levels. Here's something backed by research. Regular consumption of unsweetened coffee or tea has been associated with a lower risk of type 2 diabetes and improved glucose metabolism, with some studies showing better insulin sensitivity and reduced fasting glucose levels over time. This doesn't mean caffeine is a cure, but it does mean it can be a supportive tool when used properly. But here's the critical part. Timing matters more than the drink itself. Drinking coffee or tea immediately after waking, especially on an empty stomach, can sometimes increase cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone that can raise blood sugar. For some people, this leads to a temporary spike in glucose levels. That's why the best strategy is to delay coffee or tea by about 30 to 60 minutes after waking, or have it after a small amount of food like water, nuts, or a light breakfast. Another major factor is what you add to your drink. This is where most people go wrong. Adding sugar, flavored syrups, or sweetened creamers turns a zero-calorie drink into a blood sugar spike. Even healthy sweeteners in large amounts can trigger glucose responses. The best option is to keep your coffee or tea unsweetened, or use minimal natural flavoring like cinnamon. Coffee also has a mild appetite-suppressing effect, which can help reduce cravings. This can be beneficial for blood sugar control as it prevents unnecessary snacking. However, relying only on coffee without proper nutrition can backfire, leading to energy crashes later. Tea, especially green tea, offers a slightly gentler effect compared to coffee. It contains L-theanine, which helps create calm focus without overstimulation. This makes tea a good option if you are sensitive to caffeine or experience jitters with coffee. Both drinks also support metabolic activation. They slightly increase thermogenesis, helping your body burn more energy and use glucose more effectively. Over time, this can contribute to better weight management and improved insulin sensitivity. Now let's talk about how to use coffee or tea effectively in your morning routine. Start your day with water first to rehydrate your body. Then, after about 30 to 60 minutes, you can have your coffee or tea. Keep it simple. Black coffee or plain tea is best. If you want to enhance the effect, you can add a pinch of cinnamon, which may support blood sugar control. Avoid pairing your drink with high sugar foods like pastries, as this cancels out the benefits. Portion control also matters. About 1 to 2 cups, 240 to 480 milliliters per day is generally ideal. Excess caffeine can increase stress hormones and negatively affect blood sugar. Another gentle consideration is individual response. Some people are more sensitive to caffeine and may notice a slight rise in blood sugar. Monitoring your response can help you adjust timing and quantity. What makes coffee and tea powerful is their dual nature. They can either support your metabolism or stress it, depending on how you use them. When used correctly, they improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, enhance focus, and support better glucose control. And here's the key idea to remember. Coffee and tea don't directly control your blood sugar. They influence how your body responds to it. That's the difference. They don't replace good nutrition, but they can amplify it. In a daily routine, coffee and tea act as metabolic enhancers, helping your body wake up, process energy more efficiently, and maintain better control over glucose levels. That's why they are not just morning habits. They are strategic tools, helping you start your day with focus, balance, and better blood sugar control. Third on the list, plant-based milk. If you switch to plant-based milk thinking, it's automatically better for blood sugar. You're not alone. It sounds like a smart move, natural, dairy-free, and often labeled healthy. But here's the truth most people miss. Plant-based milk can either stabilize your blood sugar or spike it, depending on the type, timing, and how you use it. That's why this isn't just about replacing milk. It's about using the right version as a metabolic tool. Let's start with what actually matters inside your body. A standard serving of about 1 cup or 240 milliliters of plant-based milk behaves very differently depending on the source. Unsweetened almond milk is the lightest option, usually around 30 to 40 calories, with just 1 gram of protein, about 2% of your daily value, and almost no carbohydrates, typically 0 to 1 gram, while often being fortified with calcium that can reach up to 30% of your daily value. This makes it extremely low glycemic, meaning it has almost no impact on blood sugar. In contrast, unsweetened soy milk is more nutritionally complete, offering around 80 to 100 calories, with 7 to 9 grams of protein, about 14 to 18% of your daily value, and only 3 to 4 grams of carbohydrates, along with key minerals like magnesium and potassium that support insulin function. Then comes oat milk, which even when unsweetened, contains around 100 to 120 calories and 15 to 20 grams of carbohydrates with much lower protein. This higher carbohydrate content means it can raise blood sugar more quickly, especially in the morning when your body is already releasing glucose. Now, here's why this difference matters. In the morning, your body is dealing with natural glucose release from the liver, and insulin sensitivity is slightly lower. If you choose a plant-based milk that is higher in carbohydrates like oat milk, you may unintentionally add to that glucose load, leading to a spike. But when you choose low-carb options like almond milk or balanced options like soy milk, you create a much smoother glucose response. Inside your body, the impact of plant-based milk depends on how fast its nutrients are absorbed. Almond milk, being very low in carbohydrates, creates almost no glucose response. Soy milk, because of its protein content, actually slows digestion and stabilizes glucose release, making it one of the best options for diabetics. Oat milk, on the other hand, digests more quickly, allowing glucose to enter the bloodstream faster unless it's paired with protein or fat. But plant-based milk does more than just provide energy. It can support insulin function and metabolic balance when used correctly. Soy milk, for example, contains plant proteins and compounds that help improve insulin sensitivity. This means your body can use insulin more effectively, allowing glucose to move into your cells instead of staying in your bloodstream. This process also supports GLUT4 activity, helping your muscles absorb glucose more efficiently and reducing circulating blood sugar levels. Many plant-based milks are also fortified with nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium. Magnesium plays a direct role in insulin signaling, helping improve glucose uptake. Vitamin D supports overall metabolic health and may contribute to better insulin response. These nutrients may seem small, but over time they help create a more stable internal environment for blood sugar control. Here's something important backed by research. Diets that include plant-based proteins, especially from soy, have been linked to improved insulin sensitivity and better long-term glucose control, particularly when they replace higher sugar or refined dairy products. This shows that the right plant-based milk can be more than a substitute. It can be an upgrade. Now, let's talk about the biggest hidden problem, added sugars. Many store-bought plant-based milks contain 7 to 15 grams of added sugar per cup, even when labeled healthy. This is where things go wrong. That amount of sugar can quickly spike blood glucose, especially in the morning. This is why choosing unsweetened versions is critical. It's one of the simplest changes that can make a huge difference in your blood sugar control. Another key factor is how you use plant-based milk. Drinking it alone, especially higher carb options, can lead to a faster glucose rise. But when you combine it with protein, fiber, or healthy fats, it becomes much more stable. For example, adding almond milk to coffee or tea keeps your drink low glycemic. Using soy milk in a smoothie with nuts or seeds creates a balanced combination that slows digestion and stabilizes blood sugar. Timing also matters. Plant-based milk works best when used as part of a balanced breakfast or morning drink rather than consumed in large amounts on its own. In the morning, your goal is to reduce spikes, not increase them. So, pairing plant-based milk with protein-rich foods like eggs or fiber-rich options like oats in controlled portions can create a much more stable response. Portion control is another important detail. A serving of about 1 cup, 240 milliliters, is usually ideal. Drinking multiple servings, even of low-carb options, can add up in calories and affect overall metabolic balance. One gentle thing to keep in mind is individual response. Some people tolerate certain plant-based milks better than others. Monitoring your blood sugar after consuming them can help you identify which option works best for your body. What makes plant-based milk truly powerful is not just what it contains, but how you use it. It can either stabilize your system or disrupt it, depending on your choices. When used correctly, it becomes a tool that supports better glucose control, improves insulin response, and helps you build balanced meals. And here's the key idea to remember. Plant-based milk doesn't automatically control blood sugar. The right choice and timing does. That's what makes the difference. It's not about avoiding it, it's about using it strategically. In a world where many drinks quietly raise blood sugar, the right plant-based milk gives you control. It helps you reduce hidden sugars, improve nutrient intake, and create a smoother metabolic response. That's why plant-based milk is not just an alternative. It's a smart daily upgrade, helping you manage blood sugar, support insulin function, and start your day with balance and stability. Now, here's the truth. You don't need complicated diets or expensive supplements to control your blood sugar. You just need to fix the small habits you repeat every single morning. And your first drink of the day, that's one of the most powerful places to start. Whether it's water to reset your system, coffee, or tea to activate your metabolism, or the right plant-based milk to keep your glucose stable, these are not just drinks, they're tools. So don't wait. Don't overthink it. Start tomorrow morning. Pick one change. Do it consistently because real blood sugar control doesn't come from big changes. It comes from small actions done daily. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe to Diabetes Healthcare, and tell me in the comments, which drink are you fixing first? Let's take control starting tomorrow morning.